I wasn't looking for a church. I was looking for people. For 3 days, the city felt hollow. Not destroyed, not abandoned, just missing pieces. Stores open, lights working, cars parked, but conversations gone. Everyone spoke quieter now, like loud voices didn't belong anymore. After the disappearances, crowds formed at government aid centers and schools. But the one place nobody gathered anymore was churches. Not because they were closed, because they were avoided. I only went inside because it started raining. Cold November rain, the kind that soaks through a jacket in seconds. The nearest building was a small brick church on Maple Street. I pushed the door open, expecting darkness. Instead, the lights were on. No staff, no pastor, no sound, just rows of empty pews. And Bibles, dozens of them, everywhere, open, not stacked or shelved, open like people had just stood up in the middle of reading and never came back. One rested on the floor beside the aisle, another on the front pew, several on the altar. I walked slowly forward, footsteps echoing too loud in the silence. Something felt wrong about touching anything, but I couldn't stop staring at one near the center row. It was open to a highlighted passage. The ink was fresh, not faded like old notes, almost recent. Behind me, the door creaked. I turned fast. A man about my age stepped in, soaked from the rain like me. We both froze for a second. Strangers had started feeling dangerous lately. "You saw the other one too?" he asked. "The other what?" "Church, 2 blocks over, same thing." He looked around uneasily. No people, just open Bibles. We began checking them, not reading deeply, just noticing patterns. Many were open to the same pages, different translations, different print sizes, but similar sections, marked passages about watchfulness, about suddenness, about not being ready. Neither of us said the word we were thinking, but we were both thinking it. Then the power flickered, the lights dimmed, came back, then stabilized. At the same time, both our phones vibrated. Emergency broadcast. Not an alert, a message. Community gatherings discouraged. Registered information centers available for guidance. The man gave a small, nervous laugh. "They really don't want people coming here." I didn't answer, because I noticed something else. Near the pulpit sat a notebook, not a Bible, a journal. Inside were handwritten entries, dates, names, prayer requests, normal church records until the last page. The final entry was yesterday morning, only one sentence written. "If anyone finds this after today, read John first." My stomach tightened. I had heard that exact instruction earlier this week from someone who wasn't here anymore. The rain outside got heavier, drumming against the stained glass. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The man finally whispered, "You think they knew?" I looked around the empty room again, the untouched coats hanging on wall hooks, a coffee cup still half full near the back row, pages unmoved like time stopped mid-service. "I think," I said slowly, "they expected not to finish reading." Suddenly, a car pulled into the parking lot. Headlights shined through the windows. We both turned. Another vehicle behind it, then another. Engines idling, but nobody getting out, just sitting there, watching the building. The man stepped back from the window. "That's not normal," he said. I agreed, and for the first time since entering the church, it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt noticed. I picked up one of the open Bibles, because if someone wrote that message knowing they wouldn't be here, then whatever they expected wasn't over yet.
The engines outside didn't turn off. They just idled. Low, steady, patient. the kind of waiting that isn't accidental. I slowly set the Bible back down on the pew. "Maybe they just want shelter from the rain," the man beside me said, but he didn't sound convinced. No one reached for the door handle. No footsteps approached. They were staying inside their cars, watching. We moved away from the windows instinctively. The church suddenly felt less like protection and more like a spotlight. I picked up the journal again and checked the earlier pages more carefully. Normal entries, hospital visits, meal schedules, names of volunteers. Until the last week, the handwriting changed, tighter, rushed, almost like the writer was thinking faster than their hand could keep up. Several entries repeated the same phrase, "People won't listen until after." Another line circled twice, "They will look for answers in the wrong voices first." My phone vibrated again, another broadcast message. "Assistance teams are operating in your area. Remain calm and wait for contact." The man exhaled slowly. That sounds like them, but still, no one came to the door. Lightning flashed through the stained glass, briefly lighting the sanctuary bright as day. In that split second, I noticed something I hadn't before. Near the front row, coats, not hanging neatly, collapsed on the seats, as if they slid off someone's shoulders instead of being placed there. I walked closer. One still had a set of keys in the pocket. Another had reading glasses folded inside. No one leaves glasses behind on purpose. Thunder followed. The lights flickered again, longer this time. When they came back, the cars outside had multiplied, at least 6 now, all parked facing the church, none blocking the exit, just observing. The man stepped beside me. "They're waiting for us to come out." "Or for something else," I replied, because they weren't rushing like responders, they were monitoring like surveyors. I opened the Bible again to where it had fallen naturally. The page landed in the same section as the journal mentioned. Not coincidence anymore. The margin had a handwritten note, "Read this when you finally ask why." Below it, underlined, "The light shines in the darkness." I didn't read further. Footsteps sounded outside, not approaching fast, slow gravel crunching. Someone had finally exited a vehicle. A shadow crossed the stained glass, then another. Still no knocking, just standing at the door. The handle moved slightly, tested but not opened. They knew it wasn't locked, so why wait? The man whispered, "They want us to choose to open it." Before I could answer, a voice spoke through the door, calm, friendly, almost reassuring. "We know you're inside. We just want to talk." No threats, no urgency, and somehow that felt more unsettling than if they demanded entry. I held the journal tighter, because whoever wrote the last line expected this moment, and I had the feeling the next thing we did mattered more than whether we stayed dry from the rain.
Nobody answered the voice at the door. The rain kept falling, steady, heavy, filling the silence between us and them. The handle didn't move again. They were waiting, patiently, like time wasn't important to them. The man beside me whispered, "If they wanted to come in, they would have already." I nodded. This wasn't force, this was permission. They wanted us to open it ourselves. The voice returned, calm and measured. "You're not in trouble. We're here to help people understand what's happening." Understand. Not rescue, not evacuate. Understand. I looked down at the journal again.
One line suddenly felt heavier than before. They will offer explanations before truth is considered. I stepped closer to the door but didn't touch it. "Who are you?" I called out. A brief pause, then Regional Reassurance Team. That wasn't a normal title. The man next to me frowned. "I've never heard of that." Neither had I. Lightning flashed again. Through the glass, I saw them clearer now. Dark jackets, plain clothes underneath, no clear badges. Not police, not military, and they weren't carrying equipment, just small tablets in their hands, recording devices. "People have questions," the voice continued gently. "We're helping prevent harmful rumors." Rumors. I glanced back at the open Bibles across the pews, at the journal, at the coats still resting where people once sat. It didn't feel like rumors lived here. It felt like answers had been left behind. My phone buzzed again, but this time not an alert, a notification from a news app. Global statement released, disappearances linked to atmospheric event. The man exhaled. "There it is, explanation." But even he didn't sound convinced. The person outside spoke again. "You've probably seen misleading religious material inside. It's important not to let that increase fear." I felt a chill run down my arms. They knew what was inside without entering. They knew exactly why someone would come here. I raised my voice slightly. "Then why not just come in and tell us?" Another short pause, then calmly, "Because trust works best when offered freely." Again, choice, always choice. Behind me, a faint sound echoed from deeper in the church. Not the rain, not the door, a soft thump, like something settling. Both of us turned instantly. The sanctuary was still empty, but one of the Bibles near the altar had fallen shut. We hadn't touched it. No wind reached that far. For the first time, the man's voice shook. "Okay, that didn't just happen." Outside, the people didn't react. No movement, no surprise, like they weren't concerned about what was happening inside, only about us coming out. I stepped back from the door, because suddenly the bigger question wasn't who was outside. It was why they were so patient, and why they needed us away from this place more than they needed to enter it. The voice spoke one more time, softer now. "You don't want to stay in there overnight." I looked at the dark sanctuary stretching behind me, then at the journal in my hands. Something told me they weren't warning us about danger. They were warning us about discovery. We didn't answer them again. For a long moment, no one on either side of the door spoke. Rain hit the roof harder now, echoing through the rafters like distant footsteps. The church felt older in that sound, heavier. I turned away from the entrance. "If they wanted to help, they wouldn't mind us staying," I said quietly. The man nodded. "They want us outside for a reason." We walked deeper toward the altar. The Bible that had fallen shut lay on the floor near the front row. I bent down and picked it up. It wasn't dusty like the others. It felt used recently. When I opened it again, it didn't land where it had before. It opened somewhere else, a different passage, not highlighted, but a small paper marker rested inside, like someone left it to be found. I unfolded the marker. It wasn't a bookmark. It was part of a printed church bulletin torn into a thin strip. On the back, handwritten, "Basement storage, key behind hymn board." I looked up. "You think someone left this after?" the man asked. I nodded slowly. They expected someone to come back. Behind us, the voice outside spoke again, firmer now. "We strongly advise you not to remain inside closed structures tonight. Conditions may become unstable."
That wording felt rehearsed, not specific, just urgent enough, but they still didn't come in. We found the hymn number board mounted near the side wall, old wooden frame with removable numbers. Behind it, taped to the plaster, a small brass key. The man let out a nervous breath. So this place isn't empty after all. We located a narrow staircase door near the back hallway. No sign on it, no reason for visitors to notice it. The key fit perfectly. The lock clicked louder than expected. We both froze, listening. Outside, no reaction. They either didn't hear or were pretending not to. The stairs creaked as we descended. Cool air rose from below, dry, untouched. At the bottom, a single pull chain light hung from the ceiling. I hesitated before pulling it, then did. The bulb flickered on. It wasn't storage, not really. Boxes lined the walls, but organized carefully, labeled by date. Water containers, flashlights, printed papers stacked in rows, prepared supplies, like someone knew the building would be used again after being abandoned. On a folding table in the center sat several notebooks and a recorder, an actual handheld voice recorder. The red light was off. Beside it, a sticky note. If you're hearing the outside voices, play this first. We looked at each other. The rain muffled the world above us now. The people outside couldn't see down here. For the first time since entering the church, we were somewhere they hadn't planned for us to be. I pressed the power button. The screen lit up. One audio file, already queued. My finger hovered over play, because suddenly it felt like whatever we heard next was exactly what they didn't want us learning.
My finger hovered over the play button longer than it should have. Above us, faint through the ceiling, I could still hear the rain, and occasionally the muffled sound of a car door closing. They were still outside, waiting. I pressed play. Static crackled for a second. Then a man's voice, older, steady, tired, not panicked, prepared. If you're hearing this, then the world already knows people are gone. The man beside me leaned closer to the recorder. The voice continued. They will explain it quickly, faster than makes sense, because confusion creates questions, and questions lead people back here. Back here. The church. I glanced at the stacked supplies again. Someone didn't just expect survival, they expected seekers. The recording continued. You'll notice they don't force you away from churches. They invite you away. They need belief to fade voluntarily. We both looked toward the ceiling, toward the people upstairs, not forcing entry, waiting for us to leave. The first days matter most, not because of danger, but direction. Whoever answers humanity's fear first shapes what comes next. The man whispered, "That's exactly what they're doing outside." The voice paused briefly, paper shuffling in the background. If they're at the door, they already know someone came back. They monitor buildings where truth was taught, not to destroy evidence, but to redirect attention. My chest tightened. They don't want us reading, I said. The recording lowered in tone, almost personal now. You'll feel safer going with them. They'll be kind, reasonable, calm. That's important. Fear pushes people away. Comfort pulls them in. Upstairs, a faint knock echoed again. Gentle, patient, right on time. We stayed silent. The recorder played on. If you're listening, start with the book of John. Understand who Christ claimed to be before you hear who the world claims he wasn't. I swallowed. The exact same instruction we'd already found twice. Different people, same message. Suddenly, a heavy sound from above, the front doors opening. Not violently, slow, deliberate.
They had decided to come inside. The man beside me stiffened. They said they wouldn't. The recording kept playing. Eventually, they won't wait outside anymore. We stared at the recorder. The timing made the air feel cold. Footsteps echoed faintly through the sanctuary floor. Measured steps, not searching, walking with purpose. They knew the layout. The voice on the recorder spoke its last line before the next file cued. If you hear them moving inside, stay below until they call your names. We both froze because we had never told anyone our names. Then, from above, a calm voice echoed through the church. Not loud, not aggressive, just certain. Daniel, we know you're here. My heart slammed against my ribs. I looked at the man beside me slowly. He hadn't told them either. The ceiling creaked with another step overhead, and the recorder clicked, loading the next message.
Neither of us breathed. Not even the rain sounded real anymore. They had said my name, not guessed, not asked, known. The man beside me whispered, "You told someone you were coming here?" I shook my head slowly. No, because I hadn't planned to come here. I just ran from the rain. Above us, footsteps moved across the sanctuary floor, steady, unhurried. They weren't searching room to room. They were walking directly toward the back hallway, toward the staircase. My stomach tightened. "They know the layout," I whispered. The recorder beeped softly as the next file started playing. The same voice, quieter this time. "If they call you by name, understand this. They aren't tracking people. They're tracking decisions." The man looked at me, confused. "What does that even mean?" The recording answered before I could. "The moment someone returns to places where truth was taught, they mark you as someone still searching." My chest felt heavy. So it wasn't random. Walking into the church was the moment I became noticed. Upstairs, a door hinge creaked. Closer now, the staircase entrance. A soft knock came from directly above us, not pounding, just 3 slow taps, exactly the same rhythm as earlier. Then the voice again, gentle, almost friendly. "You don't have to hide. We only want to help you understand." No anger, no threat, just certainty. The recording continued. "They will never sound dangerous because the goal isn't capture, it's agreement." I realized my hands were shaking because the voice upstairs sounded reasonable, comforting, the kind of voice you want to believe when the world stops making sense. Another line played. "Before you open any door, decide which voice you trusted first, the one that predicted the silence or the one that arrived after it." The room felt smaller suddenly. The man stared at the stairs. "They're right there." Another knock, softer this time, almost patient. "We can make things clearer for you," the voice said. "You've been reading things written for a different time. We can explain what actually happened." I looked at the journal in my hands, then the open Bible on the table, then the recorder. 3 different messages, all written before today, all describing this moment. The final words on the recorder began, "You won't get proof in a single moment. You'll get a choice repeated many times. Today is just the first." The light bulb above flickered. Footsteps shifted right above the door, waiting for the handle to turn, waiting for permission. I walked slowly toward the stairs. The man grabbed my arm. "What are you doing?" I stopped at the bottom step, not touching the door, just listening. The voice above spoke one last time. "We know you're scared, but you're not alone anymore." For the first time,
I understood why that sentence felt wrong, because the church had been empty, yet every message left behind assumed someone would return. They expected seekers, not crowds. I stepped back down, away from the door. I turned off the basement light. Darkness filled the room instantly, and the knocking stopped. No demand followed, no forced entry, just silence. Minutes passed, then footsteps retreated across the sanctuary. The front doors opened again. Engines started outside. One by one, the vehicles left. We waited a long time before speaking. The man finally whispered, "So, what now?" I looked at the recorder, at the Bible, at the quiet basement prepared long before we arrived. And for the first time since the disappearances, I didn't feel chased. I felt warned. Morning light eventually filtered through the small basement window. The world outside continued, but something had changed for me. The churches weren't empty. They were waiting rooms, and the open Bibles weren't abandoned. They were invitations left behind for whoever came looking after the silence. I didn't know everything yet, but I knew this: the first explanation the world offered wasn't the only one. And now, I finally wanted to understand the other voice first.